think what you're saying about Harry Potter and magic being used and abused in some cases kind of makes me think that superhero movies are the modern day fantasy genre or fantasy movie, because just having technology is somewhat magical. Magic allows you to do a lot of different things, and technology also allows you to do a lot of different things. I don't know if it's the exact analogy, because I know that superhero movies have a certain formula and fantasy movies don't follow the same formula, let's say. But I think in terms of the application of magic and application of technology, they kind of, like superhero movies and technology and their relationship with technology just seem like an updated version of like a fantasy genre and their relationship with magic.
Yeah, I just thought of a great example. You know how in Mission Impossible, they have this device which allows them to basically create like the face or like a mask or something so that you like kind of become another person. That's a spell in Harry Potter, right? Or a potion. Like you take the... Oh, what is it called? You know how they transform into... In Chamber of Secrets?
What?
They like turn into other people?
Oh, they take that potion.
Polyjuice.
Yeah.
Polyjuice potion. They take Polyjuice potion and they turn into another person. Whereas in Mission Impossible, they essentially do the same thing, but using technology.
It's the same thing. I'm just saying.
It's the same thing.
Magic, technology, same thing. We've cracked it. But that's a kind of dangerous thing, though. If we just think of technology as magic as the solution, because sometimes like you can say, oh no, like it's magic, like this just happens, you know, then we don't understand how things work. So an easy thing would be like social media. The fact that a lot of people just use Facebook, just use all of these things, and they're free, but gradually now we're all getting this understanding that, well, it's free, but they're selling our attention. They're selling our data.
That's a good analogy.
So if you don't understand the magic / the technology, then it's kind of dangerous, because people can really just use your attention for the wrong things or for things that you haven't signed up for.
Yeah, I heard this quote that was something like, if it's free when it comes to any sort of like technology or social media, you're the product. Like you're what they are selling. Yeah.
But then I think you can even say that about other technology, like I'm trying to think. If you have a car that can get you so much faster to from point A to point B, there are still kind of bad things about a car. Like it's magic in the sense that it's faster, it's more efficient, it's more effective. But back then, when you were creating this, like you probably didn't, when you're driving a car, didn't really think about kind of the climate, environmental effects that a car would have on the world. So there are always like good things, like Facebook is a way for you to connect with other people. That's a positive. And Instagram is a way for you to share beautiful things and inspiration on Pinterest. But then the bad thing is your attention. And I think there's always just like a good side and a bad side to technology. Same with magic. There's a good side and a bad side to a spell or a potion.
Yeah, I think what we're working towards is the idea that technology can be a crutch. Like, you don't want to rely on it as the only thing to heal the world or save the world. Like, that is not ultimately what is going to fix everything. And at the end of Black Panther, they say, well, it's left a bit ambiguous, but basically at a United Nations assembly, T'Challa says we're going to try to help the world. And they don't do it through, well, they don't necessarily do it by like just giving out technology. They show him going to the neighborhood where his uncle was killed, and they show him talking about opening up a school and trying to educate. So I kind of like that ending because it shows you that it doesn't just come down to like sharing some vibranium and technology with the rest of the world and that's what's going to solve everything. It also comes down to conversation and education and diplomacy. So I thought that was kind of an interesting way to show them opening up the country to the rest of the world.
And I think that's sometimes missing in superhero movies because a lot of the times it is about that good person fighting to the very end, using all the technology, using their suit and powers to the maximum extent possible. And then that's how you save the world. Meanwhile, vibranium is something that they're sharing, but then also sharing with knowledge. And I think that's a much more powerful ending to a superhero film than... I'm just trying to think of an example. Like Wonder Woman, I'm pretty sure she just lifted a plane, or there was something to do with a plane, and she was on a plane, and then she was just being Wonder Woman, you know?
Yeah, I can't think of an example, but I know what you mean. It's much more important to not just hand over your resources or your technology, but to actually, like, assist, to be a part of the change.
Yeah. And then when you have the solution as technology so romanticized, then I think people don't see the why. Like, because it's so entertaining to see that, oh yeah, like, you can have all of these technologies to save the world, and it's so romanticized because that's part of the film. Like, in a film, you, like, make everything so poetic, you make everything seem so good or so over the top sometimes that you don't really understand the why. And a lot of the times when we just see things on film, we kind of somehow relate that to real life, and we then are influenced not to dig deeper. And I think that's where documentaries are really great, because sometimes the romanticism of film makes it entertaining, but then the explanatory aspect of documentary can really help you just, like, understand it. And this is a really crude example, but true crime is not about technology, but true crime explains the mindset of a psychopath or explains the mindset of a murderer, and it's done in an entertaining way, which is problematic, which we talked about in our villain psychopath what is evil episode, quick plug. But at the same time, it's like, it's entertaining, but it's also showing us why. It's showing us a different perspective and really understanding, like, what is going on in that mindset and the mind of a killer.
Yeah. Just one last little note about Harry Potter. I don't want to plug J.K. Rowling too much because she has been very, very harmful in recent years. But she had this quote about how we don't need magic in order to change the world. We have all the power to change the world within ourselves, something about that. And I think that is really, really interesting, especially as someone who, like, wrote a series entirely about magic, to keep in mind that it is actually about the people and what they are doing, and not the magic that they are capable of or the tech that they are using.